Hello everyone, I'm MMC Videos, otherwise known as Andmore Central, and welcome back to another OMSI 2 The Bus Simulator video today, where you join me in Westcountry 3. Westcountry version 3.03 beta, if that is what I remember it as correctly, where we are in Totnes bus station. I thought, as I've been doing a bit on the new Lincolnshire map and a couple of bits like that, it's sort of, I then reminded myself, I mean, I don't quite know why those objects are all white. I imagine they're going to hopefully load in. There we go, give them a little bit of a hint, and there we go, a little bit more on the canopy, and there we go, and that's a bit better. And as I've been doing a bit on Lincolnshire and a few other maps like that, it reminded me that I do still have the beta copy of the Westcountry update, including the new Totnes town circulars. And I thought, well, because I've been doing a bit on those maps, and I haven't driven this one for a while since since I was lucky enough to be handed a beta testing copy of it, I thought I would take another drive on this route, just to remind you all what the route is like and what we can expect from the next update of the Westcountry map, as well as seeing how this bus copes on that route as well. Something a little bit different. I thought, why not? Have a little drive of this. So before we do begin, it's important to note that, as per the disclaimer with these work in progress beta maps that I have tested in the past, I don't know why that has gone back to white. We'll deal with that in a minute. But it's important to note that with this map, this does not represent the final product. Things may change between now and the final release of this map. You may notice that parts of the route have changed, some of the scenery might be missing, or some scenery might change between this video and when it is finally released. And the final bit is this is not available as a public download as of yet, with it still being in testing stages. There may be stuff that doesn't look right, stuff that may look a little bit wrong, and that'll be the reason, or stuff that doesn't work correctly, and that's the reason why it is still in beta testing. So we're testing it and showing you all to get you all excited about the upcoming map, so that finally when it is released to you all, and that hopefully will be very soon, you will get a fully working, lovely map that replicates the route that we are driving here, that will be released publicly, hopefully very soon. But for now, it's beta testing stage, and hopefully it'll be something fun to watch in this video. So the vehicle that we are driving is once again the Studio Polygon 400 MMC. I love driving it that much in the previous video. I thought I'd have another drive of it now. And we're driving in the brand new BlockyBus Go Northeast repaint. We do love ourselves some good Go Northeast repaints on this channel. And BlockyBus has once again done an absolutely stunning Enviro 400 MMC repaint, replicating YX64 that does have X-Lines branding inside and X-Line style interior, but has now been repainted into the standard livery and to advertise the £2 flat fare single that's been introduced by the UK government from the 1st of January to the 31st of March. So this bus is like this now in real life.
Audio working, September 15th, 2019.
There we go. So what we're going to do in this video, because I did drive the 1A, although it was on a different map, I've driven the 1A in previous videos, and the routes on here are numbered 1A and 1B. We're going to drive the 1B this time, even though it obviously is a different map. Kind of want to keep going with the progression. I don't think there's a 1C on a map that I'm aware of, so this will have to do for now. So we'll just load up a random blind, bearing in mind that the blind they haven't done the blinds yet, so there are no timetables for the route. We are just going to be randomly driving around, following the arrows. No particular time. We could say that we leave at 12:40, when it is just a random drive round. Yeah. Ad hoc trail. There we go. We'll put an ad hoc trip in just in case we get people buying tickets. So yes, again, the office reference on the ticket to login name. That's what we want. And for this particular repaint, and we have a Go North East employee key card instead of the standard one. So let's see if the blind has worked as we'd hoped. Yes, it has, although it comes up with the things at the bottom, the places we aren't serving, it still shows Totnes. That's the main thing that we want. So the buses do serve this station. I don't see the point of us driving into reverse out on this particular occasion. So by doing the 1B, it means that we're signing up to go up, I believe, the massive hill to the zoo. So yeah, the £2 single fares scheme has been interesting. It's allowed for a few of my trips to take place and a few other trips in the planning to actually be planned so that they can physically happen. So that's been quite good. I haven't managed to make as much use of it as I wanted. I've been busy doing other things in more recent weeks. However, the trips that I have done with the £2 singles have been cool. I got in the last B7 Geminis with the potteries. That was pretty cool. Going to be honest, I did thoroughly enjoy that. There we go. Thoroughly enjoyed that, even though the irony is the two B7s that I went on just before the potteries withdrew them are actually the same two B7s that Reliance Motor Services in York have got. So as well as sampling them with the potteries, I'm also going to get the opportunity to sample them with Reliance Motor Services in York, one of the most well-respected bus operators, independent bus operators in North Yorkshire, it has to be said. So that was quite cool. Reliance have also purchased X-First potteries 31757 and 60. They're two vehicles I am hoping to go on with them because I didn't manage them with First Potteries as they were Kingfisher buses. I did want to do the Kingfisher service from Hanley to Uttoxeter. Never got a chance before it got withdrawn, unfortunately, as per these things sometimes. D&G Bus do run it now, but it only uses single deckers and isn't as frequent. So it is a shame. I won't have minded some B7s on there, but at least 2 out of the 3 branded B7s have survived and are Reliance Motor Services, so that would be quite nice to go on. I believe there were 2 others that were branded up. I think it were 371, 58 and 59. I know at least one of them has been scrapped. Potentially both have been. So 57 and 60 that are going to be with Reliance, maybe the last of them. Last of them that we'll see about in the Kingfisher colours. As 57 has already entered service. Believe it or not, I am doing a video, hopefully very, very soon, in the York region, so do look out for that. A couple of things I do want to sample in the York region. I do love this gearbox variation of the MMC. Does sound a lot more tuneful. But I'll be doing a little bit of filming in York, and it's important to note 57 has entered service with Reliance Motor Services in full Kingfisher livery minus the branding. I don't mind because I think it looks quite cool. I didn't really get that many photos of the Kingfisher buses. I did a singular trip there when they had the Kingfisher brand, so it'd be quite nice to get a couple more, I think. Even though obviously it's just the undercoat. Although it must be said again, the undercoat itself does look lovely. Now there we go, let's see how well this does up a hill. This is exciting. Give it a relatively decent run up. I think I have driven this up some steep-ish hills in the past. I cannot remember for the life of me how steep said hills are, but I have driven it up hills in the past. The sun is in the totally wrong position, but We do a 180 turn here, so it should be in the right position there. There we go, let's... Oh, where's me? Where's... There we go, that's the one I wanted. Super. That's what we want. That is most likely going to end up as the screenshot, unless... Not that one. There we go, that one. Although, in fairness, I do like that one, actually. Just looks good. It's one of these liveries that is really, really nice to sort of get photo screenshots of. It just looks really, really nice. I've always loved the blue and the red, even though it's basic. I've always absolutely loved it. I think it suits most vehicles. There's very, very few vehicles that it doesn't suit. We'll try for another here, although I'm conscious that I don't think. Yeah, it won't even come up for that. That's a shame. I was hoping we could get the castle in the background, but no, I don't think there's a further out view than that. Doesn't matter. At least we've got a few to choose from. So this is Totnes. It's not the zoo. Sorry, it's the castle. I forgot to paint and that had the zoo. It doesn't have one in the more current releases, does it? No. No. Well, one thing I did mention when we last drove this route, and it is something I still very much admire, is how this route has been developed in a way that it crisscrosses the existing 35 and X35 routes. I just find that really, really cool. I think how it sort of crisscrosses between them and creates this sort of sense of, it's like here, for example, 35 X35 goes straight on. For us, we turn left and go back into the town. And it follows on from what those routes do. It's basically looking at the roads, and IMX and the other developers have gone, well, we've got routes, we've got these empty roads here with massive spaces, like we have a route here, just to give that bit more of a sense of realism. And when you've got the AI working and the routes properly set up, there's going to be more AI buses that you get to see, and it gives you that proper town sense. So sometimes when you drive these routes in OMSI, if you sort of go to an area where it's like a busy town or city, like, I mean, it's something that Mr. Moose has done with Lincoln as well, by the Lincolnshire map, by introducing the 107 in Lincoln alongside the 100. But it's more giving that sense of bustliness without having to create 1,000,001 AI routes that then you may have to delete if you finally add a route there. And it's about obviously having other AI buses on other routes going round to give you this sense of going, hang on a second, is a town with more than just one bus service, so the bus station is justified. So it's that kind of sense that I think is something that developers in OMSI have started to consider a little bit more. Something I've always been a fan of. For those of you who know the projects that I worked on, I was always wanting to create the odd tiny local service here and there wherever I could. It was just something I always used to do. It was like on my old Hammerthorpe map, we ended up with, I think you could have totaled it up at about 3 or 4 different first bus depots worth of routes, because of how many short routes I'd introduced on terminuses of main city services. Wherever I'd introduced a bus station, I'd then followed up that by introducing a local town service or another through service or something like that, or a small circular that you could drive. $3.55. Very random fare. Yeah, but then they turn left here, do the 35 and X35, go back into the centre and go back to that roundabout that we've just been round. And then we continue onwards and go to a couple more housing estates and go near the trading estate and the train station. I must say as well, I am very excited to see what other routes get added to this next Westcountry update. Obviously, they are expanding on the Totnes side, and it would be quite nice to have another sort of longer housing estate Totnes run, like you sort of commonly get in places. Like, I mean, Worcester has the 35, Grimsby has the Weaverswood 16 service. I mean, Bradford has the Homewood Estate Circular, stuff like that. That basically start in the centre, although the Bradford one is cross city, but starts in the centre, goes round the housing estate and comes back within about half an hour. Something like that, I think, would be quite beneficial on a map like this. I mean, it doesn't have to be long. A 15-minute route out, potentially on mostly existing routes, existing roads, build a housing estate, do a circular around there, sort of clockwise and anti-clockwise, and then come back. I mean, Preston's perfect example. You've got Tanterton Estate, you've got Farringdon Park, you've got, I mean, the 23 is a bit too long to say that because it goes all the way up to that Asda's. It's about an hour away when you go through all the roads that goes on. But you've got those kind of routes, and it's absolutely ideal for a map like this. Giving you... Why have I given you too much? Oh, there we go. I gave you 5s instead of 10s. And yeah, it's 2. Yeah, so I thought it said 90, not £1.90. Too tired at the moment. Too tired at the moment to do maths. That's all I can say. Straight over the middle of the roundabout. There was no way that we were getting round that. So at the moment I am waiting for the Solo to reduce in price. We've got the Digibus Solo. It is a vehicle that I won't mind driving in OMSI at some point in the future. However, I am waiting for a little bit of a sale to take place on that at the moment. As from the mixed reviews I've read and from videos I've watched, the personal opinion, but I'm not too sure that it is worth, in its current state, unless there's an update that happens, it's not worth the current price. So in turn, I'm not particularly willing to pay that. I will be doing some videos on it, as I say, once I do acquire it, but that'll either be once an update has taken place that's highly publicised and improves some of the aspects that people have left bad reviews on Steam for, or it is in a sale, in which case I'll purchase it that way as well. Because a vehicle like the Solo would be absolutely perfect on this route, but obviously needs must at the time, and this bus itself does a fine enough job, and is quite a nice drive. Where we go? Sometimes it does that if you take the parking brake off a bit too soon, before the doors are fully closed. It likes to continue to isolate the bus. I believe it does that in real life as well. So it is another real point. It's not like a bug on this vehicle. I believe it does it in real life, but It's not something I'm a particular fan of, if I'm honest. Is that person actually wanting the bus? Yes, okay, they are. I thought I saw them walk back. It's like sections like that where it was rather tight going round that turn would be more suited to a shorter vehicle such as the Solo rather than this. However, I have driven this, I believe, in the Renown, so if you can drive it in a vehicle like that, then I shouldn't have an issue. It's a very busy route today, it must be said. Oh no, you have given me your right change. I thought that said 580. Now I'm having my 50p back, thank you. Thought it said 580, then looked on the machine. I was like, no, it's only 530. Then looked up and read it again, and it was 530. Oops. There we go, back in Totnes. We're left briefly, but we are back now. Oh. Even before the lights had changed, the Golf driver panicked and slammed all on. Goodness me. When it looked like the car was turning right, then it drifted back, then it slammed all on, and then miraculously, it psychologically knew the lights were going to change long before they did. Well, all that matters is we didn't end up in the back of the car, so that's good. It is always good. There we go, around there. Again, I'd love driving this bus because the steering's lovely and responsive. It's incredibly smooth. I mean, sometimes I would argue that it doesn't have the necessary kick off the mark that I'd expect off a bus like this. An example of that was the previous video in Lincolnshire, where for those of you that have watched it, I drove the 1A, and it was the second half of the route after Gainsborough. I was waiting at that junction with the cars crossing, and I knew that the vehicle didn't have the guts off the mark to turn the corner in time in front of a few cars, so I was stuck there for a little bit of time trying to wait for a spare gap that was big enough. So there is that element to it. I mean, there's some buses you're driving here. It's like, for example, the Veiling V3.03 or the Spectra, that I know full well, if obviously I don't mess up on my side, those vehicles can be incredibly quick off the mark, and you can make certain gaps. But a vehicle like this, you do have to be a little bit more aware that if you put full power onto it, it'll rev for a little bit and then go, just like they do in real life. So again, no criticism on the actual model, but it is just how they are in real life. Do always love this cycle track. I think that cycle bit at each side is absolutely amazing. Something really different compared to what most people tend to include. So I'm going to go around into the high street this time. I know it says start and finish at the bus station, but that arrow did say straightforward. And I imagine our passengers had quite a few passengers actually, will most likely want this stop. So we'll pop up not in service on, so we don't get anybody else on. Get the steering back. There we go. Yep, and the stop-start kicks in on this. Something else I should have mentioned earlier, but this one is stop-start, that I do think is really, really cool. I've not had any issues with the stop-starts yet, properly, so it's pretty cool how it is. It switched itself back on as the doors have closed, but I'm not planning on going anywhere, so we'll leave it at that. The repaint still looks absolutely amazing. You can download the repaint by the talented BlockyBus from the Fellows Film Forum download page. It comes up as the £2 bus fare going off East Street Paint. And you can drive this bus on the low height 10.9 metre variation of the Studio Polygon 400 MMC. For now though, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have done, do be sure to click that like button so that more people can find it and enjoy like you have. And if you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe to the And More Bus Videos YouTube channel for more content like this from the simulation section, as well as an archive of over 4,500 backseated engine-focused videos from public transport, that is buses, trams, trains, coaches and more, from around the UK and beyond. There's up to 21 extra additional videos added to the archive each week, so make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on those new uploads. And so you can also have a little delve through the archives, as there's a video in there that'll interest everyone. Do also check out my main channel, And More Central, for more in-depth analysis of the bus industry and other public transport elements in the UK and beyond. I upload up to 2 videos on the analysis per week, as well as additional videos in between. So do go and subscribe to that channel if you're more interested in understanding the in-depth parts of the bus and other bus, tram, trains and other public transport industries in the UK and beyond. I do themed weeks as well as sort of more random videos. I've got quite a lot of exciting content coming up there, as well as stuff related to more recent news. Once again though, I would like to thank you all for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one I make. Goodbye for now. Bye.